Right. So I wonder, because I want to get back to this hallucination, the white wall thing. Is that a combination of the visual effects and the sleep deprivation? Because I know the way I've heard it described is that your hood, the hairs of your hood kind of blur with your headlamp. And the next thing you know, you've got a TV screen where your mind is just showing you freaky stuff.
That's one of the many ways. Yeah. Heavy snow does the same thing, where if it's really heavy snow and you have your headlamp on, the light's reflecting off those snowflakes. I feel like that's the easiest way for it to happen. I've had hallucinations in heavy ice fog when it's 40, 50 below zero, and essentially all the moisture in the air is crystallized and it's just kind of hanging. It looks like a fog, but it's literally just ice, more or less hanging in the air. It's kind of creepy. And the same thing, your headlamp will reflect off of that. But also, if it's just a perfectly clear night, you get tired enough and you're forcing your eyelids to stay open. Your eyes are open, but your brain is shutting down and going to sleep. And you're dreaming while half awake, basically. And that's what a hallucination is.
Well,
and you get the visual hallucinations, and you also get the audible hallucinations where you're actually hearing stuff, which is kind of weird. I experienced that.
Like animals. See, I would be out there. I'd be like, oh, bang, 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 just hallucinating, and I'm shooting into the wild and
Yosemite Sam style. Wait,
exactly.
Bruce, if you ever run the Iditarod, I'm gonna try to stay a really long ways away from you.
I have big plans to have an all pit bull team and be like the real bad boy of the Iditarod.
Well, then I'm definitely gonna try to stay a long ways away from you.
Yeah, I want to know what you're seeing and hearing, though. I'm really interested in what that's like because I've done a lot of drugs, but I can never get over the edge with hallucinations. And I'm done now. I'm sober now, but like I never had a good hallucination, and I was jealous of everybody. So I want to know what you see it and hear it.
Well, aside from sleep deprivation, I haven't done any drugs. So, I've gotten my fix on just not sleeping, I guess. But
that's a drug.
Let's see, I guess so, yeah. One of the
purest drug you can take. The Iditarod,
it's not healthy for you. Dude, I recently was reading something about the amount of brain cells that get killed off in extreme sleep deprivation versus drug use. And it's unfortunately pretty comparable. But
nice.
Yeah, that's my excuse. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But one of the first major hallucinations I remember, I was doing a mid-distance race. It was very, very cold out. A lot of ice fog. I had my wolf ruff pulled up around my face, and it was all frosted up, and my headlamp's trying to shine out, and it's kind of reflecting off those guard hairs like you were explaining. Mm-hmm. And I was only, I think, 16 at the time, and I was not very good at handling sleep deprivation at that point. It's gotten much easier as I've gotten older. And I kept kind of nodding off and then kind of like, nodding off and waking up like when you're driving and you really shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And one of those times I woke up and I opened my eyes and I could still hear the dogs running. I could hear the dogs breathing. I could hear my brakes from my sled on the ice, but all I could see was my family's kitchen, like this view from the living room looking into the kitchen, brightly illuminated, perfectly detailed. And I knew it wasn't real. But that made no difference. I could not get that vision to go away. I'm blinking my eyes. I'm rubbing my eyes. And every time I open them up, my brain just kept going back to that same thing. It was the weirdest thing. You could interact
with the kitchen, right? Like you could go make a cup of coffee or whatever.
No.
Just step off the sled.
I would have loved a cup of coffee, man. It was 40-something below zero. It would have been warm, right? But, I couldn't get it to go away. And I'm kind of worried because I need to be able to see my team. We're out on this wide open frozen river with no snow on it so that it's easy for the dogs to just kind of meander wherever. I can't see where they're going. I can't see. It's kind of a little bit scary. Another one similarly, I was on, what's that?
Nothing. Keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
I was just
this rocks.
Another one, I think on that same race years later, just the way that the river ice was broken up, like the ice and then the snow patches on the ice and then the far bank of the river with the trees. Mm-hmm. Every time I opened up my eyes, what I would see was the houses that are on stilts because the snow was going like kind of vertically and wind blown drifts on the river ice. And it looked like the stilt legs and then the trees. My brain turned it into the bottom of a house, which in these villages, a lot of the houses, because of permafrost, are on these little stilts. They're up high. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking that we were mushing underneath of one of those. So I'd wake up and I'd duck down because I thought I was about to crack my head on one of these houses. I'm thinking my dogs are mushing like underneath these houses. It was the weirdest thing. And it
sounds like your brain is just projecting about where you want to be. It's almost like an oasis. Like your brain's like, let's get inside.
There you go. That's what it is.
Yeah, it sounds like when you hear stories of like people that almost died and they're like, I went to this place and like I was in my family's kitchen. It was beautiful and warm and I had pancakes. Like that's literally what it sounds like the entire
I'd be
time.
so pissed if I spent 9 days in the winter and started hallucinating and all I was in a dumb kitchen. I would be so bummed.
Yeah. You want to be on in another dimension.
I dream a genie coming out of a lamp or something cool.
Yeah, there you go. No, the hallucinations have always been kind of disappointing in content, at least.